The member representing Apapa Federal Constituency of Lagos State, Hon Adashola Adedayo, highlighted insecurity, climatic change, farmers-herders clash and others as part of causes of food hike. He expressed need for Nigerians to be more involved in farming.
Ms. Dr. Adashola Adedayo. I am the member representing Apapa Federal Constituency. I am from Lagos, the center of excellence, the state of aquatic splendor, the fifth largest economy in Black Africa, and a cosmopolitan and liberal state. Well, I know the problem of scarcity of food has several causes. One of the things you must consider is that number one is a worldwide challenge, and you will notice that since after COVID and with the war in Ukraine, there has been so many distortions in the supply chain of food all over the world. Ukraine used to be a food basket for many of the developed countries. And when that was started, there was disruption. And it has affected the world all over. The prices of commodities rising is not peculiar to Nigeria. And if you care to look at statistics, it's all over the world, and it's a challenge that most governments are facing. I've given you one cause why there is food scarcity in the land. The other thing that I can mention here right now is the problem of insecurity, which we all must take responsibility for. Yes, the degree of responsibility, the degree to which you will hold us responsible varies. But you must all realize that security is a problem for all of us to look into. Starting from the individual, we must also look at other factors. The issue of climatic change, it has affected food production because in areas where there used to be rain before, rain is scarce. There's almost famine. The places are dry. Another factor that you must also look at in Nigeria is the issue of farmers-herders clash. The farmers couldn't go to their farm because of the fear that they will be, because of the fear of herders. And if you look at this problem of other farmer, it's also, you can also trace it to the changes in the environment, climatic change. The others need grass to feed their animals. These animals, if there are no food, there's no grass, they need to look for alternative sources. That's why they move on from one place to the other. So if you look at that too, then you also look at the areas where, in Nigeria especially, that are food baskets for our nation, like Benue and Plateau. The crisis in Plateau has taken its toll also on some of the things we produce in the farm. If farmers cannot go to their farm freely, every state is virtually affected by banditry, kidnapping, and whatever you have, whatever. So these are the problem of food scarcity has several causes, and it's almost inexhaustible. You can also phantom. Then I keep on asking people, look at your own family. How many people are going to the farm in your family? Make a list. Just try and make a list of your members of family and tell me if you can get 2 people in your family that is farming. So where do you expect this food to come from? Rice is not, it cannot be manufactured in the lab as of now. They've spoken about plastic rice from China, but nobody eats plastic rice. Then we must also look at our emphasis. Our students, you will find students, people graduated in Agric who wants to work in central bank. So if you look at all these factors, you will see that some of them are self-inflicted because we are not planning the right way and we are not laying emphasis on the right thing. Then if you also look at it, you also see the issues of indiscipline on the part of some of us who have access to even the commodity. People hoarding food. And the prices keep on galloping because they are making gain, because there is no price control, because the economy is in free fall. These are some of the issues. Then some of the things, we are basically a consuming nation. Basically a consuming nation. And you will find out that because of the changes in the exchange rates now, it pays people in the northern part of the country that have borders with Niger, Mali to take their food there because of the depreciation of the naira when you compare it to the CFA, which is the currency that they spend over there. Our currency had lost almost 50%. So for the trader, it makes more sense for them to go and sell their food across the border and make more money. So when you look at all these issues, we must find a way around it. And I think it's better for us to stop the blame game. This man is responsible, that one is responsible. Let's come together and see what you and I can do. For me, I feel that if you have even a small place in your place, you can do some form of farming. I saw people on the internet growing yam in cement bags, on sacks. And I think some of us are doing that already. Then, whether we like it or not, government has been and we should continue to subsidize food. If there's somebody that they should subsidize in this nation, is the farmers. And don't let me deceive you, farming is not a lazy man's job. I'm a farmer. And I was telling somebody that I am a practical farmer. I go to the farm and I work there. Somebody was saying, making jersey, thought I was playing. I said, if you follow me to the farm, you will collapse because you won't be able to cope with my pace on the farm. I have a farm in Kwara that's about 200 hectares of cashew that I've been nursing since 2017. It's there. It's not. And my wife is also a co-farmer. Most of the time, she's on the farm. We've tried so many things: plants maize, plants yam. We have a lot of issues. What I believe is that there are short-term things that government can do. Release more grains into the market. But the long term is that our people also have to go back to the farm. Government has to provide means. Like, I can tell you straight ahead that the biggest problem that most farmers have is the clearing of land. And it depends on the state you are talking about. In the north, it is easier to clear the farm spaces. As you go north, as you go down, up to Kwara, Kwara South, you find out that you need more money to clear the land because it's almost merging into the forest of the western region of Nigeria. And if you talk of the east, you find out that it's even more difficult. In areas where they grow cocoa, it's so difficult to clear lands there. So we must look at short terms. Governors, presidents, council chairmen, House of Assembly, House of Reps member can come on the short term to provide palliatives. But we must look at the long-term solution. And this long-term solution are some of the things I've enumerated in this conversation. You need to make sure that our people, particularly if you go to some places, you will see able-bodied men just sitting down in the morning drinking ogogoro. Everybody thinks that somebody will bring food. At the end of the day, nobody brings the food. And protests cannot solve this problem. We have a problem on our hand. We must sit down as a nation and look at what are the solutions. Even if there's going to be incentive for people who want to do real farming. And sometimes you may be surprised, even when government have good intentions, people will come and sabotage it. People who are not farmers will be the one that will get fertilizers, and they will keep on reselling it. No, I completely agree that we cannot continue to subsidize fuel. And the reasons are simple. I'm not an oil and gas person. So I'm free to, air my opinion because I'm not benefiting from it. But if you continue to subsidize fuel, there will be a time when you will not even be able to pay your civil servants. Because you'll be borrowing on and on, going to IMF, going to African Development Bank, and these people don't give you money for free. Somebody has to pay along the line. So, and if you are following the campaign in the elections, all the parties agreed that they were going to remove fuel subsidy because it was benefiting a few individuals. And look at it this way. Immediately fuel subsidy was removed, the amount of fuel that we use went down by about 1 billion liters. And you can imagine what effect that will have on the economy. And, even this fuel subsidy, some people have argued that when there was a governor, the governor of Kaduna State, he was on tape saying that when he assumed duty in June, he could barely pay his salaries. But when the fuel subsidy was removed, the allocation to his state increased. He was able to pay salaries, he was able to pay pensioners, and we still have some money to do a few things. So every decision of government has its advantages and disadvantages. What we must always look at is the advantages more than the disadvantages. When you are subsidizing fuel, your neighbors, Republic of Benin, Niger Republic, Cameroon, they were smuggling fuel. That's a premium motor spirit from Nigeria to those places. It means you are subsidizing your neighbors, and that's bad economics. So people just look at it and say, don't remove it because that's the only thing you benefit from. No, government does a lot of subsidy. I'm a medical graduate. I graduated in the university in 1979 from the University of Ibadan. My father could not have paid for my schools if they were actually to quantify it. It's government subsidy. The electricity that you and I use is subsidized. You may not know. They are clamoring, those distribution companies are clamoring that they want to increase their tariffs. It's the federal government that is paying some of this subsidy. There are a lot of subsidy that you receive and you don't know. Anyone who attends any government institution in Nigeria is being subsidized. If you attend, well, I think federal government universities are the cheapest in this country. I don't know whether you want to agree with that or not, but that's the truth. We have our relations who go to private hospitals, private universities. They pay through the nose, and yet these government universities are the best. So there is still subsidy. They are subsidizing education. Well, I don't have any comments, and I will tell you why. The we run. People say there's a debate on whether we run a a three-tier or a two-tier government. But I'm sure that we run a two-tier. Nigeria is a federation, and states are autonomous. And you have given so much power to the states. There are certain things that you don't even have the power to invite them to come and give account because they are autonomous. So it's difficult to just, like I said, I'm not somebody who indulge in blame games. In your own area, just try and manage it. I don't know how much they earn or whether it is triple or double, but all what I know is that the states are autonomous. And if you look back, you will see certain cases where the federal government wanted to use the hammer on the states, and they went to court, and the judgments were in favor of the states. I was once a council chairman, and I don't know, I'm caught between saying whether we actually run a two-tier or a three-tier government. Three-tier in the sense that you have the federal, the state, and the local government. But local governments are not autonomous. They are appendages of the states. And that is why the House of Assembly of a particular state can remove the council chairman. It is because the power to regulate the local government resides in the House of Assembly. And that is the truth. So, and I know that I can speak for Lagos. And like I'm very proud to be from that state because we are very unique in terms of the way we manage our affairs. Lagos is a center of excellence, and in spite of the challenges that we have in terms of population, to me, it's still the best run state.
Hon Adashola reiterated need for Nigerians to consume Nigerian food. He further appreciated his governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State for what he's doing to cushion the effect of hunger on Lagosians. Calls on Nigerians to be patient with the government, says it's no time for blame game. Comfort Olayinka, DCTV News.